Welcome to Enlightened Evolution.
I'm Cay.
And I'm Christina.
We're here to discuss the ebb and flow of our soul's healing and transformation through self-reflection, choosing intentionally, honoring thyself, and following your inner guide.
Thank you for joining this safe space with us. Welcome to Enlightened Evolution. Welcome back, everybody. We are doing another Am I the Asshole episode. You guys love these ones, and we love doing them too. They're very interesting, especially our last one. I feel like they were so relatable. So Kay has pulled them. I'm blind going into this. I have not heard them, read them, so I'm interested to see what they are, and we'll see who is the asshole. Kay, do you have any fun plans this week?
I go back to work Thursday, so I've been off since.
That's fun.
I've been off since Thursday. I've been off with 6 days off. I really don't have any plans. I'm gonna go see my grandma
Nice.
today. She's at a rehab center, so I'm gonna make some Greek lemon chicken and potatoes and broccoli and bring her some dinner. And like I mentioned before we started recording, I made like 50 chocolate chip cookies last night. And after I fell asleep, like my kids and their friends ate them. There's like 20 left.
Love that.
So they probably had like 5,000 calories last night apiece. And I hope they get what they deserve today for eating all my cookies.
Kids, though, they're so resilient. They can eat all the sugar, all the carbs, and nothing affects them.
I know, girl. I'm glad they enjoy them. I even I bought the old school peppermint candy canes and like I smashed them on the counter. And then I put those in some of the cookies. I made half a batch normal and then half a batch I put the peppermint in with the chocolate chips. Oh, it's so good.
Oh, wow.
You doing anything fun?
That.
Resting up?
I do need to rest since I am sick. But Jordan promised he was going to take me to the mall. And he doesn't like to go to the mall. So I'm like not going to pass up this opportunity.
Nice.
He does this thing whenever he pisses me off that he suggests something to do that he knows I like to do to try to like get me to not be pissed off anymore.
Oh, well, you'll have to tell me what he did to piss you off.
He just didn't spend my day. Like we usually have Thursdays together and I work from home and he'll be off and he worked instead and I was mad.
Oh, he's trying to make up for the time. That's sweet.
Yeah. So that's probably what we'll do, but keep it chill.
Girl, it's like 10 degrees here. I'm not an outdoor person. I don't like being cold. I am an outdoor person, but not in the wintertime. It's cold to me. If it's not above freezing, which is 32 degrees Fahrenheit, I'm not going out there. And that's even questionable. I really don't want to be out there if it's below 50 and the sun shining.
Yeah. It's supposed to be 52 here today. So
nice.
And tomorrow it's supposed to drop down cold and be rainy. So that's why I'm hoping to get out today a little bit. But there's not going to be any sunshine. That kind of pisses me off.
Yeah.
I need some sunshine.
Yeah, I was talking to this guy and he's like, I love skiing. I'm like, water skiing? He's like, no, snow skiing. I'm like, oh. Like,
do you know what I saw?
Please don't invite me.
Right. I'm not good. I've tried skiing. I've tried snowboarding. I literally bruised my entire body. It was horrible.
I just worry about that drop in my knees, girl. I'm not doing it. I'm in my 30s now. My recovery time isn't as quick.
Right.
I see things at the hospitals we talked about in our last episode. I am not doing that shit.
I saw that they're sledding at Sleeping Bear Dunes.
Ooh, that would be
I'm like,
fun and scary.
Is the water frozen? Because like if you're sledding down that, you're going to go out onto the water with that much momentum. So is the water frozen, I hope? I don't know.
Ooh, that sounds dangerous. When I remember as a kid, actually I would go do this. I'll look into this so I can take my kids.
I like sledding.
I like tubing on the snow.
Yes, because it's cushioned.
Yes, I'm worried about my tailbone now, girl. All of it. Like I don't want to be uncomfortable in any aspect whatsoever.
No.
So, but that sounds fun because they also have this device where you hang on to the rope and it pulls you back up the hill, so you don't even have
'Cause
to
that's the
walk.
worst part is having
Minimal
the
effort,
yeah. Oh,
just
I
dress
love that. I
form.
wanna
Yeah.
do that. Yeah, you gotta have the layers.
Mhm.
The layers tucked into the layers with the waterproof pants.
Yes.
All that.
Aw, those little babies that have their they look like little Michelin men.
Yes,
They're
all bundled up.
Yeah, they
They're
can
so
barely walk, they
cute.
look like penguins walking. So
Mhm.
cute.
What do you
Okay,
got
you
for us?
alright. Am I the asshole for refusing to let my mom back into my life after she tried to replace me?
Ooh.
Okay, so I, 27 female, really have a really complicated relationship with my mom. My dad died when I was 10, and after that, it was just me and her. We were really close for a while, but then when I was 15, she started dating this guy, Mark. At first, I was happy for her because she seemed happy. I wanted her to be, but that eventually changed. Mark had two kids from his previous marriage, twins, 14 male and 14 female. And when they moved in, it was like I stopped existing to her. She'd spend
Mm.
all her time with them, buying them new clothes, taking them to fun places, and she completely ignored me. I'd ask her if we could have a girls' day like we used to, and she'd say, "Oh, honey, we'll do that soon," but we never did. It got worse when Mark started treating me like a burden. He'd make snide comments about how I was too emotional or not trying hard enough to fit in. And one time he told me I should be grateful they were even letting me stay there in my own house. When I told my mom how
Oh.
it hurt, she said I was being dramatic and that Mark's just trying to help me grow. By the time I was 18, I couldn't take it anymore. I moved out as soon as I could and went low contact with her. She didn't even seem to care. No calls, no visiting, nothing. Meanwhile, she kept
Mm.
posting on Facebook about her beautiful family and how proud she was of Mark and his kids. Fast forward to now, I'm engaged and my fiance is amazing. He knows everything about my past and has been so supportive. We're planning our wedding and I decided not to invite my mom. Honestly, she feels like a stranger to me at this point. But then out of nowhere, she called me. Apparently, Mark left her for someone else and now she's lonely and wants to reconnect. She said she's sorry for
Mm.
how things turned out and that she wants to be a part of my big day. I told her no. I said she made her choice years ago and I'm not interested in letting her back into my life just because she's alone now. She started crying and said I was being unfair, that family is family and I should forgive her. Now my relatives are blowing up my phone saying I'm being cruel and that I'll regret it if I don't let her come. But honestly, I don't think I owe her anything after the way she treated me. Am I the asshole for refusing to let her back in?
Well, I think we all know how I feel about this. I would say no, she is not the asshole.
I don't think she's the asshole.
Blood means nothing. How you treat people means everything. So,
Mhm.
it
And good
sounds like
for
her
her
mom. Yeah.
for being 18 and recognizing that this behavior is hurtful and getting out of the home so quick. And then you see especially for this to be your parent, they just don't reach out. They don't wonder how you're doing.
Yeah,
Absolutely
and to
not.
let someone come into your life and just push your own child out of the way, like, I can't imagine that. That would be
Mm-mm.
heartbreaking as that child. And some people, she doesn't have her biological dad, so some people would cling on to that biological parent as much as
Right.
they could, no matter how they treated them, just to have a parent. So I'm proud of her for, like, recognizing, "Hey, I shouldn't be treated like this, and I'm gonna go live my life and be happy."
Yeah. And that's your big day. It should be exactly how you want it to be. If you don't want your mom there and you don't want to have to harbor contempt and resentment for somebody on your big day, which I'm sure she has some of that, which is valid. No. In the family, over identifying with the mom, probably because they're a parent or couldn't imagine not having their mom there. Everybody's situations and feelings are different. And
Mhm.
if they're not honoring your decision and how you feel, I've heard small weddings are a lot cheaper.
They're great. I suggest it to everyone. Have a small, intimate
Mhm.
wedding. It's
And
funny that you brought this one up because I literally just sent my girlfriend a meme that said, "It's a haunted house, but it's everyone telling you, but she's your mom." And I hate when people say that.
Mhm. Yeah. It's really hard to blend families. Now, I'm not really trying to play the
Yeah.
devil's advocate because the point is, no, she's not the asshole. But just to think about blending families with
I'm sure the mom was wanting those kids to feel welcome, to feel loved, to feel included.
but not at your
I d
child's
sh
expense. Mm.
Right. And it didn't really say, did she, like, tell the mom, "Hey, I'm feeling excluded?" Like, it didn't I don't feel like it did a good job of saying whether she pleaded with her mom. Maybe her mom wasn't aware of what she was doing, I don't know.
When I was younger and my kids were younger, they're 15 and 11 now, I dated some people that had kids, and honestly, like, I love children, but I don't really like kids that much, so I won't be doing that. I'm just gonna raise my own kids and not involve anybody else's. Blended families are very hard, it's not that enjoyable, to be honest with you. It's more work
One
than
of
it is
the
joy.
Yeah, one of the podcasters I listen to is Kale Lowry from Teen Mom, and she has
Mhm.
7 kids. And she says all the time that she will never date a man that has kids. And they're like, "But you have 7." She's like, "I don't care. I will not date a man that has kids." They said she goes, "Even if I dated, like, one of my own baby daddies, like, that
Mhm.
has kids with someone else, because I think all of her baby daddies have kids with someone else at this point."
Mhm.
She's like, I wouldn't date them." I'm like, "You know what you like and what you don't like," and I get it. I mean, it is hard to blend families.
Mhm. I think that now that I'm older and I probably wouldn't date anybody my age. I would probably only date older men now if I, like, wanted to even do that because it's so exhausting. Their kids are probably gonna be older, so it's not
Yeah.
like you're gonna have to blend these adolescent children in with, it'll be a different dynamic. So I
Mhm.
would enjoy I would accept that more, but not I'm not trying to blend
Yeah.
t like, my daughter's got my sass, my son, he's very bullheaded, and if I dated somebody that had children with the same mentalities as mine, it would be a shit show.
Yeah.
No, I'm choosing peace for myself these days.
I love that.
Okay, on to the next one,
What
unless you
other
have
stories you got for us?
anything else to say about that. Let me see here. Okay, sorry, hold on. Am I the asshole for exposing my cousin's cheating boyfriend at her engagement party? I,
Ooh.
19 female, recently attended my cousin Allie's 25 female engagement party. Her fiance Tom, 27 male, has always rubbed me the wrong way, and a few weeks ago I saw him at a bar with another woman. They were acting very coupley, holding hands, kissing. I even took a photo as proof. At the party, I
Mm.
couldn't hold it in anymore and pulled Allie aside to tell her what I'd seen. She didn't believe me at first, so I showed her the photo. She confronted Tom in front of everyone, and it turned into a huge scene. He denied everything, saying the photo was out of context, but Allie left the party in tears.
Oh.
Now my family is furious with me for ruining the engagement party, and I think I shouldn't have kept it quiet. Or engagement party in, I should have kept quiet. Allie hasn't spoken to me since, and I'm wondering if I overstepped. Am I the asshole? I think
See, this is what happens when people tell other people about cheating spouses. What do you think? What do you think?
I think that she should have told her before the engagement party.
Absolutely. I think you are an asshole for telling her at the party that was not the right time and place.
Mhm.
Um, you absolutely should have done it before the party so she didn't have to embarrass herself by going through with this party of getting engaged to this, like,
Yeah.
absolutely the wrong place and time.
Mhm.
But probably the still obviously the family wouldn't have been involved had you told her before, but they probably still would have reacted the same. She probably still would have been mad at you. She's happy, she thinks she's getting married, she thinks this is someone she can trust. And that's how people get. They get mad at the messenger when if you've got photo proof. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. Be
Mhm.
mad at the person who did the thing, but
Would you wanna be told?
yeah. I'm trying to think if any. I feel like I've had girls come to me that were doing it
Mhm.
and told me, but I'm trying to think if anyone's, like, told me on behalf of somebody else before.
I have
I
a different
definitely would not be mad at that person.
right.
What do you think?
I just have a different perspective now on men altogether. I love men. I'm a heterosexual woman. Men love to look at pretty women, and the majority of them do cheat. And so I
Mhm.
think that if I'm entering into a relationship with a man, know that I accept the fact that he's probably going to be involved with another woman at some capacity in some time frame of our relationship. So it's hard because if I'm being treated very good by this man and he also likes to, I don't know, dip in other waters, a part of me feels like I would save myself a lot of heartache if I would just accept that about men because that's what they do. A very small majority don't. I'm not saying this is like black and
Mhm.
white because it's not. But from my experience with men, that's what they do. We're not monogamous creatures by default, I don't think.
Yeah,
We have
I don't think
temptation.
so either.
We are not dead. We can look at something desirable. Like, I love sweets. I don't just love cookies. I'm not just going to limit myself to
Mhm.
cookies my whole life. So I feel like, and I haven't, like, I haven't been a completely monogamous person. I've had multiple relationships. So I just feel like I kind of need more context in the story. Like, how good was she being treated? Was she completely financially provided for? Was she happy with him? Did he, like, sincerely care about her? Just be I don't know. It's this one's kinda hard for me because I just see things differently now after experiencing so many relationships that have been the same pattern.
So in that thought, would you go into a relationship expecting it to be an open relationship?
Mm, no, because I feel like that's chaos. I feel like that's a little bit too I don't know, I don't think I would. Not an open. I don't know if I honestly, the way I can't ever seen myself, like, getting back into a relationship. It seems exhausting to me. The thought of it seems exhausting to me. And I know I'm
Yeah.
very closed off when it comes to that now, just with the things that I've had to experience and go through. But that is like, you have to consider another person every day, all day long. I don't have that in me.
Yeah. So in this situation, you would not want to have been told?
It depends on how good I was being treated by that man.
But how good are you being treated if they're blatantly disrespecting you?
They all blatantly disrespect you. In some capacity, you don't know what a person does behind your back with their
Behind.
colleagues, with
Mhm.
their friends. There's no way you can know everything. There's no way
Yeah,
that somebody could
that's
know that
true.
about me.
Yeah.
And so there is private conversations and situations that other people experience that your partner experiences with other people that are secrets. And I think that that's the reality of it, of
Mhm.
relationships. And you can a lot of like, yeah, ignorance is bliss. So I think I don't harbor that resentment and this contempt. as much as I used to. I've accepted what I can manage and for me in romantic relationships, which isn't a lot anymore. But I don't know. I respect men for who they are and I still love them. And like I said, there is some men out there that like, I mean, you see some stories where like these men get with like their high school sweethearts and that's the only woman that they like ever lay eyes on and they go their whole life and they're married for 60 years and like there are those stories. Like this isn't black and white, but
Mhm.
the majority, that's
Yeah.
why like divorce rates are so high and there's so many broken families and so many blended families, myself
Yeah.
included. So I don't know. Would I want to know? It would be nice to have somebody be honest for sure. But the other part of it's like, man, honestly, it's just the way it goes. Would you be the person to tell your friend? Would you have told her? Like, if I was getting married to somebody and you knew that they were cheating on in some bar, like, would you feel compelled to tell me?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, I would too.
I
Not gonna
would.
lie. I would have to say it, but the bigger scheme of things, like, I don't
But I
know.
would have to detach from the outcome. So I can give you
Mhm.
the information, but I can't expect you to say, "Oh, I'm gonna leave this person," or whatever. That's up to you. That's your business.
Yeah.
I can tell you what I saw, but I can't be mad at you for not making the choice that maybe I would make or I think you should make because it's your life, it's your situation.
And also prepare yourself for, hey, this man, if he's a liar and if he's a cheater, he's probably not gonna like you for revealing his truths. So prepare
Mhm.
yourself for losing a friendship and for that person to lose you as a
Yeah.
friend.
Yeah.
And that's hard
But I've
too.
never that's hard, but I've never been disappointed, like, when I've stood on truth. If me standing on
Mhm.
truth loses you, then that's what it is. I would want the same from someone to tell me whether I decide to stay with that person or not, but I would not let my partner make me lose a friend over
Mhm.
it. I would not let them talk me out of a friendship just because now you're mad at them because they told
Right.
me that.
Right. Agreed.
But everyone's different.
Everyone is very different. Oh, yeah, that sucks to be in that. And they were so young too.
Yeah, that's rough. She definitely should not have done it at the freaking party. Like, come
No.
on.
They said
There's a
she
time
said
and a place.
yeah, she said she's 19, so I mean, she's basically still like a kid,
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
so
she didn't know.
and maybe she likes a little bit of drama, which I can understand, but yeah, that was not the time or the place to do that. She
Let's
coulda
spice up this
I
party.
would have been pissed because you could have saved me a whole bunch of money. You didn't know what I was gonna
That's what I'm
decide to do.
saying. Right. Yeah, like this whole party, like saving. There's people that like wait till after someone gets married to tell them, you should have told me before I spent $10,000.
Mhm. Yeah, there's a bunch of different scenarios that way could go, but
All right, what's the other one you got for us?
okay.
I was looking for some the other day, and each one I kept reading was just like I was like, "Is this satire? Like, is this seriously something that someone
I
is
know.
posting in
Some of
here?"
these things, I don't know if they're true or not, but either way, we're here
I
for the
know.
entertainment. 'Cause couldn't be me. Am I the asshole for telling my friend she's setting a bad example for her kids by staying in her marriage? I, 32
Mhm.
female, have been best friends with someone, 34 female, since college. She's married with 2 kids, ages 7 and 5. Their marriage has always been rocky. Her husband is controlling, dismissive, and has a bad temper. He's never physically abusive, as far as I know, but he's constantly belittling her and even mocks her in front of others. Last month, she confided in me that her husband had cheated on her with a younger woman he met at work. What made it worse was that this wasn't the first time. He cheated before, shortly after their youngest was born, and she forgave him back then because she wanted to keep the family together. This time, I told her straight up that she needed to leave him, but she said she couldn't because she's financially dependent on him and she does not want to lose her house or disrupt the kids. She said the kids love their dad and I'd rather suck it up than make them grow up in a broken home. Here's why I might have gone too far. I told her that by staying with him, she's teaching her daughter it's okay to be treated like crap by a man and her son that it's okay to treat women like crap. I said
Mm,
she was being selfish for prioritizing her comfort over her kids' long term well being and that she was setting them up for toxic relationships in the future. She got really defensive and said I was judging her situation from my privileged perspective because I'm single, financially stable, and don't have kids. She told me I had no idea how hard it is to make these decisions and that it's easy to say just leave when you're not the one losing everything. I didn't back down. I told her that staying in the marriage wasn't just harmful to her, it was harmful for the kids. And one day they'd resent her for not standing up for herself. That's why she started crying. That's when she started crying and told me I was being cruel and unsupportive when she needed me the most. Now she's
hmm.
barely speaking to me, and some of our mutual friends think I went too far. One even said, she already knows her situation sucks. You didn't need to rub it in. But others think I was right to be honest, even if it hurt her feelings. So am I the asshole for telling my best friend she's setting a bad example for her kids by staying in a toxic marriage? Or should I have just kept my opinions to myself?
Mm. This is a complicated one. I want to say that I want to say she's not the asshole because this sounds like something I would say to somebody.
Girl, I feel like
But
you've said a
it
few things
is all
to
about
me, but I needed to
perspective.
hear them. You've told me a few
Yeah.
things. Here we are, still loving each other.
Yeah. There's been times, especially I can think of a friend who I felt was being a shitty parent and was setting a horrible example for her sons.
Mhm.
And I never explicitly said that to her. I felt it deeply. I had a hard time finding a way to say that to her where she was going to be where it was going to be a constructive conversation, you know?
Mhm.
And this person, like me, like I don't have kids. I'm not in that situation. So I don't have that perspective. I especially in this economy, I see how people stay together who don't want to be together, but I also have seen how staying in a toxic marriage horribly affects like your kids will be so much happier when you are split and you're not fighting and they're not seeing this dysfunctional relationship and seeing it as a normal relationship. But I also get like she's staying because of the finances and not being able to support herself. What would it look like if she was to leave him? Would she be in a homeless shelter, you know? Like what would that look like?
Mhm. I guess that's where the financial component comes in because, I mean, when you get divorced, I've never been divorced, so I don't know how that goes. I don't know how alimony gets paid to somebody. I mean, wouldn't she get something? I mean, I guess it just depends on the
I would think
dynamics.
so. Yeah, but then she would have to hire a good lawyer and those are ridiculously expensive.
Mhm.
Most of them expect at least 10 grand down for if you're going to get a lawyer that's going to get you alimony, and it sounds like she doesn't have the money for that unless someone in her life is willing to front her that money to get
Right.
a good lawyer.
And she said, like, he's controlling and abusive, and so she might feel like she's, you know, unsafe leaving him anyways.
Right. Yeah. Not only the financial aspect, but the actual manipulation and control of the relationship. Like people that haven't been in that don't understand
Mhm.
how deep that
You
goes.
gotta come up with a plan before you even leave.
Yeah. I saw a situation like this similar to another podcast that I listened to, and the advice they gave is like start planning now. So maybe the conversation could have went more like, "Hey, I want to help you develop a plan to get out of this.
Mhm.
Let's find a way for you to make some money on the side that he doesn't know about. Let's start stacking that money now. Like I want to help support you and coming to them of like, I've got a plan, like, let's figure this out, instead of more of, this sounded like a very condemning conversation.
Mhm.
So I think as a loving friend, if you could be like, hey, let's start to think of ways you can make a little money on the side that he doesn't know about, get you a secret bank account, start stacking this so you can get out of this.
Yeah. Also, sometimes people just need to vent, and I know that I've tried to be more careful. Like, do you just need to vent and need someone to listen to you, or are you asking me for advice?
Yeah.
And who knows, the person that's the asshole, she's kind of an asshole. I mean, if she was, and maybe she listens to this friend bitch constantly about her
Yeah.
situation, and she's like, "You're doing nothing to change it, and this is terrible. You're setting a terrible example for your kids," which is true. It is. I know that
Yeah.
after being out of an abusive relationship, me and my kids have thankfully, I have a career and I'm financially stable and have never been married, but I mean, my god, me and my kids have a great much better relationships with me being out of that
Mhm.
relationship. So, I do agree with that part. I think I mean, like you said, as well. Mm.
Yeah, and I think as the friend that sees that all the time, you reach your breaking point. You care about this person. You want
Mhm.
them to do better for themselves. They're not doing better for themselves. So probably that conversation came from a lot of frustration, and it
Mhm.
probably wasn't the most constructive conversation. But you start to wonder when you just see it ongoing. You're like, what is it going to take for this person to realize it? And so then you tend to have those bold conversations
Yeah.
that can really damage the friendship and make them
Mhm.
feel more isolated now. Now they feel like they have one less person on their support team,
Yeah.
but it's
Also,
hard to watch.
it is hard. Yeah, I'm sure it is. It is hard to watch. It's hard to watch people do the same things, the same patterns, and then complain about the outcomes when they choose when they choose they choose. Um, the the woman that's married with the kids in this situation, it seems like she's venting and asking advice from somebody that doesn't know what it's like. Like it's true, she does. The woman that is doesn't have kids and isn't married and has a career has no idea what it's like to be a stay-at-home mom
Yeah.
with kids that's financially dependent on their partner. So maybe the woman that's married that needs the advice needs to reach out to support groups on social media platforms or something like, "Hey, I'm in this situation. How do I get out?" And you can be a part of a community that's been through, what you're going through right now, and
Oh,
because
absolutely.
because as a friend, like, I'm sure the friend is frustrated and she's just an outsider looking in, really. She has no idea.
Yeah,
So it's just like, hey, it's easy for her to think like, "Hey, if I was in that situation, I'd leave," or "I'm single because I don't choose those situations." Like, I built a life for myself. Like, there's no way it could be me. So it's hard to relate to somebody when you've never experienced what they're going through.
absolutely. Yeah. And this situation, I've seen it so many times. Like, this is
Mhm.
a very common situation. So there are people out there you can reach out to. There's people that have gotten out of this. So many people that have gotten out of this. So yeah, I think offering that as a resource of, hey, I know I can't understand your situation because I've never been in it, but I do think there's some resources out there for you.
Yeah. And I've seen a lot of TikTok videos recently about it's these 50-year-old women that are like, "I've dedicated my whole life to being a stay-at-home mom, taking care of my family. My husband was the breadwinner, and he left me for another woman that was younger. And
Mhm.
she's like, "And I have nothing."
Yeah.
And I
That's a scary thought.
Yeah, and so I don't if anyone young is listening to this, get your go to school, get a career, get your own bag. Do not think that being a stay-at-home mom with nothing is just it's
You
not
have
the
to
way
have
to
a
go.
safety net. And the problem is, though, stay-at-home mom, like, that is a career. That is a
Oh my
service for the
god.
household.
Yes.
And but it doesn't get there's no benefits, there's no security, there's no 401k, that's where I see alimony 100% needs to come in. If you're splitting, if you're leaving me after I've raised your children and run your
Mhm.
household and you wanna leave me with nothing, no, I deserve a pension for that shit.
Yeah. Yes. Oof.
Can we start a stay-at-home mom pension?
I think so. I think that if someone's a stay-at-home mom, yes, that he should be contributing to her own personal 401k. Like,
Oh,
that
yeah.
should be a part of yeah, that'd have to be in the paperwork. If there was a prenup or something, you would have to do that in the paperwork. There
Mhm.
mm-mm. Yeah, that's wild to me. I feel for those women that do that.
Yeah, it's something you and I are very independent people, but, I
Mhm,
had a conversation with a girl, it's been some weeks now, who very much has a more traditional approach to things and values I value stay-at-home moms, but for me, I have just learned through my life that nobody else is gonna take care of me. It's
mhm,
my responsibility to take care of me, and other people have different beliefs and different values. And they actually look at independent women as like, "Oh, you need to be more feminine and you need to let your man take care of you." And okay, well, that's great if they're gonna do that. I've yet to meet one. So, I'll
yeah,
continue to take care of myself.
right. I've definitely gotten to the point now where I will not be in a relationship unless the dynamic is like that. I would rather be alone unless I'm going to be with someone that's going to provide for me fully, but I understand, like that other trend on TikTok. "Hey, babe, I can't pay the mortgage this month." Like, that's reality. So many people are like 50-50 or whatever. I mean, however that works for you, that's
Mhm.
great. No hate, no judgment. But, like, for me, I've been in relationships where it was 50-50, and looking back, like, no wonder why I couldn't be feminine. I had to embody masculine traits for us to survive. So,
Yeah.
I think I've fallen more into my feminine era, and I can do that while being independent. And if I come across somebody that's healthy and they're masculine, I'll be provided for, and I feel for that woman though, that's like he's got her
Yeah.
trapped and he gets to play on the side with his young things and he controls her. Like that's so fucked up.
Yeah. It is. Relationships are ghetto.
Girl, yes.
A whole mess.
Uh, well, we hope that you enjoyed our episode for today. Let us know if you'd like what your opinions are.
Yeah.
I'm always
What would
down.
you do?
I'm always down for hearing other people's opinions.
Thank you all for listening this week. Make sure you like and subscribe us wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure you share us, get the word out.
You can also find us and watch us on YouTube. Namaste.
Namaste.